just start talking at this point. Everything's
Well, I was going to.
Okay, I
and
apologize.
then you were like, that was pretty natural. You know, you interrupting me when I'm trying to introduce the pilot. Not the pilot. This is not fucking pilot. Excuse me.
Whether you want it to be or not, this is the hard pilot.
This is not the hard pilot. I can't stress that enough. This is a test the waters, get recording kinks out, and figure out how the fuck SoundCloud works.
So let's talk about what happened this week. What good stuff's going on this week?
Okay, well, so the main thing is that Pokemon Let's Go came out.
Okay.
And is selling relatively well, especially for being. Well, we can't say that the numbers, because it's not official, since it has a Friday release date. We won't get the numbers until next Tuesday at the soonest.
Okay.
But what we can say is that its critical reception is above what was estimated.
Really?
And yes, it's actually getting pretty positive reviews overall for a Pokemon spin-off game.
Well, it's not doing gangbusters like other Pokemon games, though.
Well, no, it's actually doing it's estimated to be doing around like what a standard like 3DS release would get. Because
that's interesting.
If we're being honest, the fact that it has, like, I don't know if you're seeing this from like the perspective of a like. I don't know if I would say marketing perspective, but in general, the fact that this is going and being like, okay, hey, Pokemon Go fans, which there are a lot of exclusive Pokemon Go fans.
There are more Pokemon Go fans than I'm gonna say
than core Pokemon DS-esque players.
And that's because it's a mobile game. Let's keep that in mind.
And also it gave a entry point to people who were only like, oh yeah, original Gen 1 150 hit. But the reality of things is that led into Gen 2 being introduced into Pokemon Go and Gen 3 being introduced. Like they have gotten eased more in so that people can now be not as alienated to these newer Pokemon. And
okay.
In relation to that, these games now bridge the gap between, hey, you're a Pokemon Go player. That's really cool. You like throwing the ball and catching them all. That's great. Hey, do you want to know how to really battle? Like, really battle?
I think...
Okay, cool. Here, let's teach you that. And that's what Let's Go is. Let's Go is, hey, do you think you would like real Pokemon? And it takes Gen 1 and kind of flips it on its head in the idea that it's a yellow remake, not a blue, not a green. It's a yellow remake. So it harkens back to the show a lot of referential stuff to like what Pokemon has done in the past, like anime and spin-off games.
Right. So what I've been seeing is this new character, this new rival, who I originally thought was blue. And after watching gameplay of like 10 seconds, it's not blue.
Yeah. It's not.
Is this the new green?
This is not even, no. Green is also she is in the game. Green is in the game, technically.
Oh, really?
Yes. Like, when I say that this is a referential, like huge just Pokemon Gen 1 collaboration point.
Is it like
really
a blowout remake? Is it a huge remake?
I wouldn't say it's a remake.
Is it a reboot?
I would say
rather?
that
it's a reboot.
I would say yes. I would say it's a reboot, but not in the way that they're like, we need to start the series over again, because the core gens are still going to happen. It's a reboot in the sense that this is going to be when the numbers are released and we can get concrete information that it has been doing well, and it's not just the projections. This is going to be its own consistent series. Like, because unlike games like Pokemon Conquest, which, you know, that was a good strategy game, this is more along the lines...
Oh, sorry, I was going to say that Conquest is, like, my jam, personally. For someone who is into Pokemon, I used to be huge into Pokemon, but now it's, you know, it's so now. Like, it's hard for me to stick with Pokemon games nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me ask you this. How many games of Pokemon Ranger did you play?
I did Pokemon, right? I did not purchase
Exactly,
Pokemon.
exactly. So there you go. So as someone who has always been playing these Pokemon spin-off games, I can talk from the perspective of being into the series like hard from the beginning and being interested in whatever tendrils spawn out of the main being. But the main thing is that this unlike Pokemon Conquest, unlike well Pokemon Ranger had a lot of sequels, but none of they pettered off. This is more along the lines of the mystery dungeons where they could just keep going in the series. Like Gen 2 could come around and it'll be Pokemon Let's Go Pichu and Pokemon Let's Go Togepi. That's the Gen
Pichu and
2.
Togepi?
Yeah,
Huh.
because it Gen 2 introduces babies and Togepi.
I guess that's true. I'm trying to think of what it actually would be.
It can't be the starters. The starters are for the main game.
And I get that, but hmm.
Like you focus on the original points, which would be um, the babies and Togepi being a big like kind of head setter for Gen 2 normal.
You think they'll bring back Baby Lugia?
I think that
I
as
feel
much as
like
people really want Baby Lugia, I think that it's kind of like what people don't understand is that Baby Lugia is like a newborn panda for like 3 months. Like it's just a weird pink placenta that screams a
yeah.
lot
So it's like
and like
it's
has.
like. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just to say it's weird. The worst part is that every time like it moves, it causes basically a hurricane level of winds because Lugia wind Pokemon. Even as a baby, it's just one of those.
I think this game, you're right, depending on the sales, will decide whether it gets a sequel or not. But the thing is, Nintendo, games like this, Pokemon, they know Pokemon's their cash cow. And I think a game like
Well,
this,
yeah,
no matter what, they're going to do something with it. I mean,
I think yeah, I do agree in a way like
it's on
that
the
it's
Switch.
it
Like,
yeah.
I think it's. You're going to get mad at me for saying it, but it is a little bit like baby's first Pokemon. You know? Like,
See
well, have you
see
seen
now
the
I'm not gonna get
video?
I'm no I've been playing the game and I'm not gonna get mad about it because this is just like in a way, yes, it caters to being able to help people, like and help first timers. Because, like I said, it's mainly aimed at the fact
Yeah,
that people from Pokemon Go might not understand all of the battle types and
you're right.
everything. So that's the kind of stuff that it really does tackle. But on the other hand, it has a bunch of things that don't cater to beginners. So if you've been playing, you've at least sticked with the main series, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
X and
Well,
Y,
I
Sun and
didn't
Moon.
pick up Ultra Moon and Ultra Sun, unfortunately.
Oh my god, I can't believe.
Don't get
Anyway,
mad. Don't get mad. Like I said,
I'm
I've
just
fallen off.
not
I've
mad,
fallen off.
disappointed. Anyway, so this game doesn't have the referential move types. So you know how in those games it's like, hey, we all know that you know what beats water Pokemon, and we'll just let you know, hey, this move super effective, just like so you know.
Okay.
This takes that out. So for people who like might not know what moves are what and everything, it's like there's now zero reference point into what's knowing what's super effective all the time and
Wait,
not
how
knowing
though? So
because they took
they
that.
took out super effective moves. Is
No,
that
they're still in the game. It's just instead of the screen telling you like in X and Y and Sun and Moon, because in Sun and Moon it references that. Like if you look, it'll say under the move, "Hey, against this type of Pokemon, this is super effective,"
yeah,
because you learned that at some point.
right? And it lets you. Yeah, I mean it lets you know. But old games didn't have that though.
Exactly, but that's the point is being that um, it's like that's something that is supposed to cater to beginners, but is now been taken out and removed, along with other things like such as the ability to go into a gym and like just go and make a bad decision. You can't really do that anymore
You can't.
because when you no when you go in, do you know how there's always that one guy in the front who like gives you a water bottle or something?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He now like has a full thing and will stop you at times and be like, hey, you're entering Brock's gym, Now, I would let you go in here, but I need to make sure you have a grass or water type Pokemon. And
Mm.
and but now wait, now hear me out. After you show him the grass and water type Pokemon, he's like, "Okay, cool, go nuts." And then you go in and go nuts. But the
Okay.
next every following gym has a different standardized requirement. Then when you go to Misty's gym, he's like, you need at least a level 15 Pokemon. So he doesn't technically tell you what water's weak against,
That's really
but
weird. A 15?
it
That's so if there are
it's
there wild Pokemon encounters?
yes, there are wild Pokemon encounters, and they play out like a game of Pokemon Go where you try to time your ball throw.
That's interesting. But there's no like
And
battles though.
well, here's the real kicker, and this has become more of an explanation about Pokemon Go. So I really hope whoever listens to this is not educated about it. So the thing about Pokemon Go and like how the battles play out is that if you're fighting a Pokemon that has either startled you, is legendary, or is a part of the story, you will have to fight the Pokemon before you can go into the catch sequence. If this Pokemon is just randomly encountered, then you go straight into the catch sequence.
That's
There's no
interesting.
battle needed.
Okay.
It's actually like, so I thought I was going to be more annoyed with it than I actually am. I kind of appreciate it because one, you see the Pokemon on the screen. There are no like grass is superficial now. Like you will see the Rattata so wiggling its tail anywhere. Like it walked out of the tall grass. It's coming for you. It's gonna come into your house. Like
Right.
you can't stop.
And you
it.
can just run away from it if
So
you want.
exactly, you could physically avoid the Pokemon in this game, and I
Okay.
kind of appreciate that to the sense that I've played Gen 1 enough and enough times over again to not really want to fight a Diglett in Diglett Cave every
Right.
5 steps.
But I mean, now
So-
you're forced to level up to like I if I can beat Misty's gym with a level 9 Oddish, let me do it. Now I can't.
Yeah, but now let's like once again, that's just for Misty's gym. Not every gym is like that.
I mean, I can understand that, but they're still gonna
yeah.
have something, you know.
Yeah, well, it's the one thing. I think even Erica's gym, like when you get to it, you need a level 40 Pokemon. But by that point, it's like if you don't have one, you haven't been able to fight battles very well. Like it's kind of, yeah.
That's so
Like
interesting.
the game puts in a natural progression checker. If that's a good way to put it. Does that make sense?
Like a little
it's
check.
like, hey,
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I get it.
we're just like, hey, we're just seeing how you're doing.
I don't like it,
I'm
but
your
I get it.
I'm your pal. Pokemon, let's go. Whatever the hell.
Pokemon,
And I'm
let's
gonna
go
check how
Front
you're-
Gym. That's his name, Mr.
I'm gonna
Front
check
Gym.
how you're. I'm Pokemon Front Butt, and I'm gonna check how you're doing today.
Mr. Front
So,
Butt.
Mr. Front Butt. Also, I got a female Pikachu at the beginning of my game, which apparently is like a thing you have to try to do, and I just got one.
I think it's like a 15% chance or something goofy like that.
I got one, and I was when I first caught her, and I looked and I saw her tail. I was like, oh, you're a gal. I'm like, this is new to me. I like this.
I don't even know what the difference is for EVs. I think the boy EV has a penis and the girl one doesn't.
I think no, that can't be true. I think you're making that up.
I wouldn't know.
I think you definitely just made that up on the spot. You're just writing some weird doujinshi.
That's
But yeah,
true.
Let's Go's good, and by next week we'll come back to this and see like what the actual projected numbers are, and if they are positive, like then I am very confident in saying that this has its own legs to be a run along series.
So,
like,
but
it
do you
can
think they'll
definitely-
do Heart Gold? Like, do you think they'll do Sun and Gold though?
Do I think
Sun
they'll
and Gold,
do
Gold and Silver, excuse me.
and gold? Holy Sun and Gold, huh?
Sun and Gold.
You know the games where Ho-Ho was the legendary in both of them. A lot of people were pissed about that.
It's
but
true.
It happened. Once again, Lugia placenta. You really can't market that.
Every
That's
time a
just
Lugia
something-
gives birth, a hurricane destroys a small Japanese community.
It's true. God, this could be horrible. We could probably imagine you just said that, and next up in the news, hey, Japan recently terrorized by natural weather.
But do you know what that means? We're getting a sequel. So
That means we're getting a sequel. Yes, you're right. But you know what that means, though? That means that the Lugia was born.
The
We can
Lugia
do
was
this.
born.
They're gonna digitize him into the Digimon realm and put him into the game. That's how it works.
Man.
That's how we got Let's Go Pikachu. They just found a rat,
it's okay.
shove him into the Switch. Who cares? Fucking hell. Well, I do think that they will naturally progress into Gen 2 because it fits just so naturally.
You think so?
Yes, I do think so. I think that it'll just slide right in like a lubed rocket into someone's. Not gonna do that. Nope.
A lube
Anyway,
rocket? No, keep going. By
yeah,
all means.
we're gonna leave it there. No, we're gonna leave that there. We're gonna pull some CNN shit. We're gonna leave that there, and we're gonna move on
The Pokemon
from.
lube rocket. There it is. That's the name of the episode.
Just write that down.
Pokemon Let's Go, the
So
lube rocket. That's the sequel.
Pokemon Let's Go Loop Rocket. That's and where
And where to find them.
where Professor Birch how to get your lube rocket to be female in this new article, please. That's just
That's horrible.
that's just great. That's horrible. So, well, that was good. The Pokemon Let's Go talk. Is there anything that you'd like to bring to the table over this news week?
There have been multiple accounts on my fiance's end that Red Dead 2 has amazing horse physics. Like, when a horse is running, for instance. Just, apparently, the horses are fantastic. Like, when they do
Yeah,
the
so
little back trots on the horsies, it's pretty good.
Okay. So Red Dead 2, the horses are good.
Red Dead,
You heard it here
Red
first.
Dead 2 horse engine is great.
Red Dead 2
That's-
exclusive horse
as
spin-off
far
game.
as I
Let's
know-
Go Horse.
As
Coming
far as I
soon.
know, that is the best part about that game because I haven't touched it myself.
I feel like you don't need to currently. I feel like the game will just be there. So,
Yeah.
like that's the thing is that you're not interested in playing the Red Dead Redemption online, as in many people probably won't be.
The
So you
online-
can take your time
The
getting to
online
the game.
looks like it'll be fun though. Cuz lately
Yeah, yeah.
I've been on like the Warframe grind and third person shooties pretty fun, I have to admit.
Yeah, third-person shooters are fun. Please don't talk about Warframe. I can't add anything to that.
About to Warframe.
Yeah,
I'll
like
t-
that.
It's-
That will be for this not pilot. That will be me like just silent for a good 8 minutes
Hey, it's
while
okay.
you talk about Warframe.
I can explain to you how what's the word? Convoluted it's become. You have to
Okay,
farm
cool, but-
things to farm things to get a thing to
Alright.
farm things. It's
Alright.
great. It's
Alright.
fantastic.
All right, cool. Well, let me meet you. I'm gonna raise you this on this proverbial poker table. What if I tell you that I don't care?
That hurts. You're hurting me.
I put 2 chips down. Not you. I love your personal opinion as much as I love my own side of. I don't really love your personal opinion, but I really don't care for Warframe. It's just like aesthetically, I don't know.
You just don't
Cyborg
like
Ninja
it?
Future thing is like it's just it doesn't grab me at all.
It's okay.
In the same way that aesthetically, like I couldn't care less about Destiny, but like the gun play is fun. And in the same vein of Warframe, like I've played it and it is fun to play, but looking at it doesn't do anything for me, you
That's fair. No, I get it.
know. But hey, that is interesting, you know, that the horses in Red Dead are good. I'm glad we got that out
Those
there.
big horses.
Those big horses,
Big horse
and don't
boys.
forget the small horses. Let's not make this
Let's
a horse
not diss
podcast.
the horse. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, let's not make this a horse podcast because I feel like it'll very quickly become one. Like with how
Okay,
into
So
this topic we
a
are.
perfect segue away from the horses. Let's talk about
Yeah.
Tetris Effect.
You're right, Diablo 3. Oh, okay, yeah. Let's definitely talk about the horse level in Tetris Effect, which there is one.
Is there actually? Because I've not reached that.
Yeah,
far.
there's so no, Tetris Effect has one where it's like a beautiful like trek through like a desert expedition and you
Okay.
go through the day and night cycles. I mean technically it would be camels that they're riding, but c'est la vie. But like it goes through that and you just see like flashes of like people made of stars riding these things. That game's breathtaking at points. Like it makes me feel like
It makes
I
me
wish
want to
I
get a
wasn't
VR.
playing Tetris. I wish I wasn't playing Tetris right now to see what the hell was going on around the blocks. But you're right. It does make me want to do a VR just for Tetris effects. ever since I got Resident Evil 7, which is a game, as people know, fully playable in VR. Thank you for the ad deal, Capcom. I appreciate this. I thought that Resident Evil 7 is kind of old, but you know,
You're
we're not
still
being
in on
paid by
the
Capcom.
Resident Evil. I see you.
I will always be in on Resident Evil. Ever since I played God, time to out myself. Ever since I played 5, my first Resident Evil game that I played alone and like on my own.
Was it also your
Um,
first? That was also my first.
yeah. Well,
Amazing.
we're shitty. Well, yours is kind of inexcusable because you had a good 2 year gap on me. But like in terms of me being, because I played Resident Evil 1 with my dad before, and like of course I was probably, I don't know, maybe 11, and he was showing it to me and it was awesome, but I was like, I was 11,
Right.
so couldn't really do much on my own front. But when 5 was coming out, I was decently into my teens, and I could like play 5, like, and understand it.
Right.
So 5, I would say, is my first experience into Resident Evil, and then I would say that I went back and played through the series in my late teens, and I fell in love with the idea of it's layered storytelling, it's like fun gameplay loops between all of them, and the thing that I think you don't, not you, sorry, thing that yes, you, fuck no, yes, you. The thing I think you don't understand about Resident Evil and many other people is that this is a series that has tackled and mastered / created multiple genres.
Multiple
Like
genres.
yes, the top down tank control horror game was perfected in Resident Evil 2 at the time, and remake
Okay.
obviously actually perfected it. And then Resident Evil 4 happens, tackles a completely new genre of third person shooting and reinvents the idea of it. Resident Evil 4 redefines the third person shooting genre. And then you go into 7, which tackles the first person horror genre. And instead of making, because first person horror games up to that point have all been kind of walk 'em arounds and, oh, big spook, hide from the guy with your big swinging dick, I'm looking at you, Outlast. But
Hey, that game's good.
that game is not okay. We are not talking about this. The game had dick in it. It was great.
Pretty sure my brother's super into that game and he loves the big
Pretty
dick
sure
dudes.
your brother's probably wrong on a lot of things. So let's not bring your brother up about topics of contingency. But Resident Evil 7 comes out and goes into the first person genre, and instead of making it what it usually is, which is hide 'em ups, it makes it an action variation game where it's like there is a scenes where you need to run and you do need to hide, but if you can fight, you can fight, and you can figure out the environmental puzzles around you so that you're not wasting your resources. And it was just so dynamic that it really changed the way that I view these kind of first-person horror experiences, and it did that for other people as well.
Okay.
And not only that, it was the first big game that was playable fully in PlayStation VR. And to this day, I'm like, if I do get a VR headset, I will be playing through Resident Evil 7 again.
Is that the most
Because
recent
it's
Resident Evil?
Yes, 7 is the most
Because they've
recent
made so
Resident
many.
Evil. There are a lot of
lot
fucking
of
RE
them.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is Capcom's big cash cow, honestly. So
Which is like, I'm sorry, like, not to say that that's like disappointing, but if they had to
no,
pick a
I get
cash
that.
cow, I really
Yes,
wish
you
it
would
were
want it to
something
be
else.
Mega Man. You would want it to be
It doesn't have to be
Devil
Mega
May
Man.
Cry.
No.
You would want it to be. I would want it to be Devil May Cry. There you go. I'll just say that. I would want
Like,
it to
they
be
brought
Devil.
back Onimusha, and I'm happy about that. I just really
They brought-
hope it does well enough that it gets a sequel. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. That this is the patented Capcom test. For those of you that don't know what the Capcom test is, it is a bullshit metric that Capcom will release a game to gauge interest by the fan base based on sales. They did this with Resident Evil Remake HD on PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4 to Xbox One consoles. They did that was a test to see what
I think it started with that.
remake.
Also, I think that's where it
No,
started. Was RE.
it's.
You don't think so?
I think it's no. It has a very specific start, and I'm gonna let you know. We're gonna work our way back to that. The next one was Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition, which that sold gangbusters, and that's why we have the Devil May Cry 5 sequel that we have today, which is great. That was a successful Capcom test. The next one, well, you know what? Here, I'll just jump to the end. Mega Man 9 and Mega Man 10 were the first Capcom test.
Well, Mega
And
Man 9 must have done well enough.
Yes, well, Mega Man 9, no, think about it this way. Mega Man 9 did well enough to get another game like Mega Man 9, which was a direct sequel to 10. So that's it. Didn't push gangbusters. Like Mega Man 9 didn't release Legends 3. Brandon, let's establish that.
I don't think anything could have ever released Legends 3. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
No matter how badly some people want it.
Fans. Some people.
It's just not in the cards. I'm sorry.
No matter how badly someone is only a fan of Legends, and how wrong they are.
It's okay.
I hope he doesn't. Tim should never come on the podcast because we can only talk shit about him when he's not here.
That's horrible.
I know. No, it's great. But also, we never introduced ourselves, so this is really not the pilot.
It's the pilot.
It's really not the pilot. It's so bad.
I can cut it up. Don't worry.
We're gonna introduce ourselves at the end.
I might as well.
That's how that really works. Well, I name dropped you, and people are like, "Who?"
I'm Brando Bear, also known as Slime Girl. Good to meet you.
Okay, cool. My name's Alex, and I don't have an acronym that I go by, I guess. So
it's okay. It's not your fault.
I'm Alex. I'll put my fucking Twitter at the description if you want to follow me for a lot of Dragon Ball FighterZ videos, because boy do I put a lot of those on there. It just hit me today when I had
your DBZ, every single one of your touch of deaths. Other news,
I had a really big dump of Dragon Ball content.
Just took a dump of DBZ.
I did. Sometimes I have to dump it. Sorry that I'm fucking sick.
You got that DBZ touch of death diarrhea. It's okay. I see you.
I do. It's really bad when you just poop out insta kills. It's like, whoa. So, we originally had the topic of Tetris Effect, and yes, I'm just that good that I remember. And VR, and it kind of spun off into something that we didn't get to tackle really. Is that why the fuck would I want to play Tetris Effect in VR when I don't think it would help my score? This relates to a story that came out a couple weeks ago, and it was that a top Tetris Effect player, well, a top Tetris player in general, I think he actually is like a christened Tetris master, which, yes, that is a thing. You can be christened.
You can be, a Tetris master. I think there's like a handful.
It's right next
of
to the Pope, actually.
There's not a lot of them. You have to. It's like being knighted by the Queen. And what happens is the L block falls from the sky, and he puts one brick over each Tetramino over each shoulder. Mm-hmm. And then you become Christian to Tetris Master.
I really wish that they would let people see that, but they always do it behind closed doors.
Right. There's no video recordings of it.
And then they come out and they're like, guys, it was so rad. Like the T block came down, and it's weird because their eyes were always really glazed over and really washed out and red. And then when the one time I liked it was in 2012 when they had the new new Tetris Master was crowned, and he came out and the people asked him, they called him out, they're like, excuse me sir, why are your eyes so red? And he said the Tetramino was just so beautiful that I started crying. And then you just see a bunch of smoke behind him.
And then he went out and got a VR headset.
And then he went out and got a VR headset, and that's Tetris Effect. Cool. T-minus 29 minutes from our first weed joke on the podcast. We did it, everybody.
We had a weed joke?
Wrap it up.
I missed it.
You missed it. I missed. Dude.
You made a weed joke?
Run it back.
Run
the weed joke back. What? Yeah, glazed eyes coming out saying they saw Tetris blocks.
I thought he was being possessed by the ghost of Christmas Tetris. I apologize.
No. God, what the fuck? You're just gonna put that on air? We were sworn to oath. Dude, okay, well, welcome to the first and last episode of Backdash, where we fucking die.
It's okay. It's okay.
Anyway, it's okay. We're already dead. But yeah, so top Tetris Effect player, I wish I got his name, but I don't believe it was said when I read this article, which wasn't really an article, it was just a big Twitter feed post, which I have lost. We're obviously the most professional, but stated that got to where he was without using a VR headset, and he had the option.
So you're saying that
said
he
that
should have used the VR headset?
I'm saying that this clearly didn't give an advantage to a quote unquote master player. Um,
Why would it? Why do you think
so
it would?
because it's more of a focus point when you put on the VR headset. It has been described that because you've played Tetris Effect, I've played Tetris
Yeah,
Effect,
I played
people have
Tetris.
seen Tetris
Right.
Effect, so the blocks and where it's positioned is like the middle of the screen, but it is quite I would say minimized to the fact that it needs to accommodate to the rest of the effects that go on around it.
Right.
Uh, but in VR, you are instead focused completely on this Tetramino like box
Well,
blocking
you,
whatever
you,
this
you
this
do
Tetris
know
game in front
in
of you.
the regular version without the headset, you can zoom in to just the Tetraminos.
Do you mean like a menu feature or
No,
like is
no,
there a
like
button?
actively when you're playing, you push the left stick in, and it zooms in.
Oh, really?
Yes. If you were not
Okay,
aware
I
that
didn't
is a
know that.
feature, yes, that is a feature
No, I did not.
specifically so you are not blinded by giant whales and
Okay.
floating.
Well, see, I
Yeah.
always want to be blinded by giant whales. Like floating or not, like that's kind of my whole kink.
I think my favorite thing specifically about that game is that whenever you move a Tetramino or turn a Tetramino, you it makes music, like
Yes, it's the
actively
most.
making music,
Yeah,
and
like you feel like a DJ when you play. Have you gotten to the stage that's in the city?
I have not.
I'll say it like
Like I
that.
said,
Oh
I'm
my
only like
god.
5 stages in.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Get
no
to the
no
stage
spoiler
that's in the
cast.
city. No, this is not a spoiler cast. That's why I haven't told you what it does. Get to the stage that's in the city. It'll blow your mind.
Okay, I look forward to it.
It is the best one.
It-
But yeah, so that's all I was trying to make a point about is that I think that VR is not a necessity for games such as like Tetris Effect and Resident Evil 7 to that extent because I played it through in one night
No.
without VR, and it was like, oh man, that was an experience. I love that. And if I played it through in VR, I don't think I would have been able to go through the full 7 hours that I played in one sitting.
Oh, this is an amazing segue, actually. Can I talk
Okay.
about how I'm pretty sure at this point VR has solidified itself as like a niche market and isn't as large as people thought it was going to be at this point. I think it's fair to say
Okay,
that.
do you have something to back this up, or is this just conjecture?
This is an article I read, as well as
Okay.
just like you can look at numbers about it, where when VR was first, coming into the forefront, I'm gonna
Yeah.
call it gangbusters. I don't think it was gangbusters.
Projected gangbusters.
Projected gangbusters.
There you go. Yes.
It was. It was doing very well, with VR chat, among other
Yeah.
just VR games, like being streamed
Yes.
and all that, and it led to large sales.
Yeah.
But nowadays,
So you're talking about VR as a full
VR
platform, like
yes.
Oculus,
Yeah.
like the PlayStation VR,
Right.
like everything into one. Vive, whatever the HTC Vive.
That's right. When was the last time you've heard of like anyone really playing VR? Like a big streamer just going, yeah, today we're playing, VR, whatever. Like since it came out,
Besides VR chat
or Tetris Effect, because
or Tetris
Yeah.
Effect, Tetris Effect is another one. Besides those two, well, I'd say that an insert new main like the first I wouldn't say first party esque game here. It will always have a like VR viewer base, like Tetris Effect. Resident Evil 7 sure did. There were players who played it fully in VR. But when it comes down to like, hey, I'm a PC gamer and we're gonna play a game in VR today, it's like, no, you're fucking not. You're gonna play Hearthstone.
you're gonna play Hearthstone,
Like,
you're gonna play your League.
Yeah. And then you're gonna go and you're gonna like go into VR chat at the least. That's what I think that VR gaming has devolved into on at least the PC front is that people who do play VR chat in a heavy capacity, like they play that game. Like they will just.
And that's
It
fair
is
to
a
say.
game that it's fine. I'm not gonna doubt that it's a good like cool chat room simulation game. It gives many avenues to the fact that like, hey, are you an artist? Do you want a 3D model? Do you want to use that 3D model in something? VR chat. like, and along those lines, hey, do you want to insert music here? Hey, do you want to do this? Like, it's a very open platform that allows people to like, I would say, experience the fun of VR. Um,
But like
is
that's
it a
just like
fun
one
game?
game though, you know.
Yeah. Well, is it even a
Is it even a game?
game?
No, it's
Yeah,
it,
it's a chat room
yeah.
with
It's a glorified chat room.
game referential content thrown out due to the player base. You know what, user base, haha.
Yeah.
Uh,
But it's
so
true
it's
though.
in yeah, in that effect, it's like it's I don't know. VR does it's just like you said. It's not the projected gangbusters that
It's
people
not the
thought it
next
was going to be.
platform.
Well, that's because you know what the big thing is that people will look into VR and they'll be like, oh wow, what a cool experience. Oh wow, this. But then you get the one person who's like, nah, man, that's not my VR. And it's like, what do you mean, random dickbag wearing a wife beater and a shaved head haircut on one side? Well,
That's
my
not my
VR is
VR.
like when I'm completely engrossed, like I can't do anything, but I'm in the game, and it's like, okay, cool, you want to be an isekai, like great. That's not like that's just one, dangerous, two, on like just completely out of your price range, random Chad. So
You know, some people
it's
just want it.
I know, but like that's the big thing is that people will not respect VR for what it is, which I think that both of us do on some level. We respect modern day virtual reality gaming to its extent,
Yeah.
but the what people are pining for is their isekai. They want to be Sao. They want to be the dot hack slash redemption hack. They want
Yeah.
to like they want that. They want their event horizon. They want to die is what I'm getting at. Like that's that. It's just I just don't. That's we're not to isekai levels yet, and I hope we never get there.
It'd be neat though.
Yeah, it'd be neat. I'd hold your dying digital corpse in my hand while you shit the bed from brain death, and I'd scream Yamate, and it'd be something.
But that's what they want, and I think we should give
That's
it to
what they
them.
want.
Give it to
It's
them.
true. I think we should give all the Chads the isekai anime they want.
Give the Chads the Isekai anime. What a great another title. Thank you.
Oh my god, it's so
Give
good.
the Chads their Isekai anime. I want to play Doki Doki Literature Club in
That
VR.
did something. I want to play. I want a chatty literature club where all the dokis are replaced with chads.
Oh, another thing
Anyway.
that happened.
Whew.
Deltarune.
killed
Have you
me.
been on? Have you played through Deltarune yet?
Yes, I've played through Deltarune. That was a experience and a half right there.
Were you able to beat the secret boss?
I didn't. So I explained this at a different time, but not on air. But I played through Deltarune much like I played through Undertale, with no knowledge of what it was,
Right.
and no knowledge of what it could be. So I played through it much like I did Undertale, where I myself like to go through games with the most interaction, not combat. Like I like my games
I get
to
that,
have.
but like, did you go back for anything extra?
No, well, Pokemon Let's Go came out, and also
Oh,
Dragon Ball
that's
FighterZ.
fair.
So
That's fair.
like other games happened.
You had the Dragon Ball Z diarrhea, right? I got you.
I did. I had to. Well, you know, it's Vegito Poo's got to go
Vegito
somewhere.
Poo.
So the main thing is that Deltarune, I went into Undertale, which is looking for just an RPG experience, and luckily it caters to what I like, which is in RPGs, which is interactions. So hence why the Persona Shin Megami Tensei series is big for me, because that's also a game not about fighting every enemy. You interact with them. You figure out what the demons like. Yeah, it's a cool thing. Deltarune and Undertale in that vein do it a little bit more heavy-handedly, where interactions can be comedic, can be heartfelt, can be completely bombastic. But the thing with Deltarune is that it's great. Game's cool, story's cool. We're not going to go into that here. But the thing is that it just happened. It just came out.
Just came out. No warning. You got one warning.
No warning.
The day before.
Just Yeah, you did. You got one warning the day before. You got Toby Fox saying something cryptic, who the game's creator, if people didn't know, saying something cryptic on Twitter, and then saying, "Hey, this is going to come out. Don't talk about it for a day, please." Just asking, and it was it's the most heartfelt thing I felt from an indie game developer in a while. The fact that he's doing this essentially out of pocket.
Yeah.
Because for people like Toby Fox, who are independent game developers, time is literally money, and time is something that you need to learn how to spend correctly in order to live. That is the unfortunate reality of being a independent game developer who doesn't have a studio or isn't a part of a publisher or
Well,
anything.
did you know that he's been like working on, like the script has been a thing since like 2012? Were you aware of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
crazy.
I have been. But that's once again, that's the harsh reality is that and mind you, like that, yes, it's a really big work period, but it's also the fact that this is just episode 1, and 2 is not going to be that far behind as
I would hope
as it
so.
was between this. Well, I feel like that's because he's hinted heavily at that fact, but just hasn't given release dates because you don't make commitments in this line of work like that.
Right.
So the main thing is that this game came out under his own hat with obviously support from artists like Temi Shea, who I don't know, I think I might have messed up her last name, but the artist Temi on Twitter, like she's a huge collaborative part of making that game. Like a lot of the animated parts of Deltarune that are to quote Toby Fox, the best looking parts weren't me, which is that's like the realest that someone can be about collaboration is that once you get other people in, they will put, and if you have good partners, they put the effort in to make it the best that you would want it to be.
Right.
And he had a lot of people working on Deltarune with him that were also, this is not a studio. This is a collaborative just project that people are putting effort into because they believe in it. And that's something that I feel is really like, say what you want about the Undertale / Deltarune fan base and how people receive the games and how they critically and that kind of stuff.
Just how they are. Right?
It is, yeah, how they are. It is something to behold that they can just do this in this day and age where games are chokeholded by publishers that want to just monetize everything and make sure that games are a service and that they can keep feeding money in a perpetual loop from people who don't know any better. That Deltarune can come out and just exist, and the fact that there's no selling out.
The game,
there's like no, yeah,
it didn't
can
even
just happen.
How do I say? It didn't even have like a monetary value behind it, and it still did gangbusters. Nope. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, it's goofy.
Yeah, no, of course. Like it's press name alone. Like, yeah, no, it's goofy to think that it's like, yeah, this game doesn't have a price. It's doing really well. What does that mean?
We don't know
that this game. We don't know, but we can ascertain that by word of mouth alone. Like, there's already getting merchandise for some of the characters because the characters are cute.
The
and
game
endearing,
already.
And
there's
like already
confirmed. There's already stuff out for it.
Yeah,
it's
very much it's not only being profitable for being like a free random thing. It's proving that you don't need to always lose what you create, like to make benefits, because that's like the unfortunate reality is that this has happened with a little game that people might not know, a game called Cave Story. Yeah, everyone fucking knows Cave Story.
Poor unfortunate Cave Story.
Poor unfortunate. Well, Cave Story not so much. The game and the series is fine, but Pixel, the original creator of Cave Story, who put as well as we said 5 years into making the original Cave Story, he put in blood, sweat, and tears, and just ended up just releasing it on its own. Cave Story, an experience, an amazing, cool adventure game that like tackled a bunch of different stuff, and at a point was then picked up as he was still being very fresh and nubile into this like gaming like big time after Cave Story blew up. He basically had it completely stolen out from under him with a contract from Nicalis, who have basically completely written him out in in only everything but name. He has no control over where the product goes, how it's used, and how it's changed. Um, and the only time he has ever been able to work on anything Cave Story again is when they bring him in to just look at the new Cave Stories and say something about it, and that they make him leave. Like it's laughable, yes, but it is also really sad to see
Yeah,
like
no,
your
that's
creation get
super bad.
abused. Because not only like has Nicalis been notably shitty with the treatment of Pixel, the creator of Cave Story, they've also like been extremely lazy with the series and have treated the fan base horribly in the fact that Cave Story Plus, when it came out, it came out with a bunch of benefits and upgrades, and they were all data mined. It was actually just fan work that had already been done for the game. Fans of the game made all these quality of life changes, and there was no editing of that. Nicalis took these mods and
Just threw him in the game.
monetized
Wow.
them. Yes, they took the mods, and yeah, I'm telling you, we can maybe drop some links in the description
Yeah,
about
all
this
the
if you want
stuff
to
we've
see
talked
this.
about, we'll probably find links and articles and
Yes, if you want to see the story, there is an actual Cave Story modder who came out and made a post about this. This isn't new news, but this is still something that's just like heartbreaking and still referential today. That they just took these mods and monetized them in a way that they earned money for this non-work that they did. And the worst part is that a lot of these modders had connections and were contacted by the game creator Pixel, who is a Japanese speaker, but he would still contact these people who would be sometimes like not even speaking in tongues that would like he would know. Like there were people who weren't speaking English who would work on these Cave Story mods that were and later just snagged. And
right.
it's in that kind of vein that like this community that felt connection with like the creator of this game that they all feel so passionate about being basically turned on and like spit at by the people who now quote unquote own this piece of art that you love. And
It's a little upsetting.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, it is. It's not even little. It can be very upsetting to some, like to the people who worked on that. I couldn't imagine that feeling. But then you get games like this. You get games like Deltarune that happen, and then you could feel that passion and know that like okay, they know what they have and they won't make the mistake of losing it. And that's something that I really hope people can see who are independent game developers who know it's like, hey, just make sure like when you have something, don't be so quick to let it go in the face of adversity.
Right.
Because the thing is that when Pixel was when I'm this is now this is a statement that I'm going to make as conjecture and this is just speculation. I believe that when he was approached by Nicalis, it was an ultimatum situation where they're like, hey, you're not making like gangbusters money or even like crazy livable money because Japan. Um, and we are going to offer you this deal, and it will give you like recurring payment, and you'll be set. And all you need to do is just let us be able to use the Cave Story license. And he signed it away without knowing that let us be able to use the Cave Story license means we're taking Cave Story from you.
Wow.
Which is it's so just Deltarune comes out and we appreciate it for what it is, but in the reality it's like from what I see when I see this kind of independent game that gets released and to its purest form, I just feel I feel very hopeful and happy that people can still do this without him falling succumb to shitty business practices like Nicalis has done.
Well, I
And
think
such.
Toby Fox has always, well, not always, but like when he first started doing the Deltarune stuff, it like it was originally just him on like
Yeah.
Steam, you know, and then
Yeah.
there since then there have been like Switch ports. There's PS4 port.
Well, for Undertale,
Oh yeah, yeah,
he
right,
said
right, right.
Deltarune.
No, oh sorry,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, well, no, Toby
No, it's fine.
Fox, like, he's been doing stuff for a
Yeah.
long ass time, and for him to like, and this statement's already been made in like when Undertale blew up,
Yeah. Yeah.
like he did it,
Yeah, he essentially in terms if you want to put it like in terms of Hollywood, he definitely made it. Like he made it very very hard. to the fact that people know his name and people understand know his game,
Yeah.
and those are the two things you need.
And
But then even
not
more
even
so,
like it's not even like a super complex game. You know, it's just like a little
no,
thing.
it's the game is literally you dodge pixels. That's and you walk around and with like slight RPG
Yeah.
mechanics. That's the gameplay of not Deltarune, of Undertale. But the thing that makes it so endearing is the fact that its storytelling is very much.
The writing,
I
yeah.
wouldn't say. Yeah, the writing is like it's a way that it adheres to the common man, but also makes sure that you understand what it means to be, to have like a speciality, like in terms of, hey, this character has their own thing, and everybody's going through their own like specific set of problems, and like you're kind of just going through this world that is happening, and then the world doesn't really understand that you're also happening to it, uh, which I think is something that, I think Undertale does that really well, and the fact that it's so well received by so many people, I think adheres to that.
Yeah. Like there wasn't I don't think I couldn't get through more than two or three character like so every time a character talked, I couldn't get through like two or three stanzas without fucking chuckling. Like
Yeah,
every other chuckle just I felt it. You
yeah.
know, it was
Be
just
it
it was
like
too
be
good.
it Yeah, be it like dark humor, or be it like other things that were such like referential. It very much adhered to the fact that it never lost that sense of like comedy, which is nice,
Right.
and that continues into what Deltarune does with its like being mainly gameplay upgrades as well.
Yeah, I
Like the fact that it's now a real RPG,
well,
in for lack of a better term.
it's better. I think that there was one
Yeah,
thing that I don't know why, but it irked me that the other characters couldn't use the act command. So I would have to like
yeah,
wait a whole round to like pacify a whole group. And I know you're not supposed to just like speed run through the game, but when I'm just
yeah,
trying to go through mobs or whatever, not that there are a lot of them, but I
yeah.
don't have any actual
But
qualms with the game.
no, I would agree in a sense. It's just a matter of like getting in there and getting the work essentially done, uh, to be able to like make this new quote unquote battle system. Like the act is something that they give to the main human character because the fact that, oh, he's the human, like, and try to
Yeah,
humanize things and relationships. Um, and then you get into it and it's like, yeah, but then these other characters, and unless you do a battleistic, like a battle playthrough, you won't see like what the fuck these other characters do because you're too busy trying to make
trying to
up,
be a good boy.
um yeah, trying to be a good boy. And then but that does lead into other things where, like, this, you know what, no one, we won't get into it. Go play Deltarune.
Yeah, just
It's an
go play it.
experience.
Get the double
Yeah,
combos, good boy points.
yeah, get the good boy points, give people hugs, it's fun. And that's where that'll end at,
Yeah.
is that it is fun. But yeah, so that's been about it's been
Anything
about a good chunk of time. Well, yeah,
anything new
there's
this
always
week that
something.
anything else?
Anything coming up?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like coming up. We're 2 weeks away from Smash, but
Big
you know what
Smash
that means.
Smash
We're
cast
2 weeks away from Smash. Yeah. So,
in two
Black
weeks.
Friday deals are going crazy online. If you want to check that out,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hit
those
up
are
Newegg, buy a monitor or two. I might start getting computer parts for my own personal gaming stuff, and then
yeah,
once I have that going, I'm gonna be PC Master Race.
cool.
Yeah,
And then also, please look forward to the fact that Metal Gear Survive is $13 on PSN. So
every
go support the people who really need
I
it.
really I mm 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 mm.
Mm,
No, thank
mm,
you.
mm,
No,
mm,
you're gonna stop.
mm, mm,
You
mm,
don't push that.
mm.
You don't push
I'm
that.
not pushing
You're
that.
pushing it.
Not pushing that. People know that I'm not pushing it. People know what I'm pushing.
You talking about Death Stranding?
The fuck?
You talking about Death Stranding?
Is this a Death Stranding podcast?
Is this Stranding cast? So, Good news.
Has this all?
Good news.
Okay, guys. Final reveal. This has been a big Death Stranding teaser. I hope you're all extremely excited.
Well, let's welcome on Norman Reedus.
If you didn't, let's please come.
Woo!
Thank you for coming on, Norman. Woo! Oh, he left.
Oh, he left.
Well,
he gave us a wave.
We had about.
That's your spoiler cast.
We got about. We paid for about a 30-second appearance. He gave us 3. That wasn't bad. So, I hope you all enjoy your new Death Stranding information. Please feel free to spread it. We are actively being canceled right now, even though we have no contracts and are on a free market.
Konami is firing us, even though
it's true. We got hired and simultaneously fired so quickly that papers weren't even exchanged. So thank you to Konami for our brief time there. It was nice. I got to see a still image of the Castlevania TV series for like a second. That was really cool.
Thank you.
But yeah,
thank you.
I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus. Anyway, look forward to the fact that Devil May Cry is getting a series like Castlevania.
The Devil May Cry series.
Please be excited.
Yeah, I will be excited when I get the pizza shot. If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, when the pizza's covering his ding.
Yes. Like
in DMC Devil May Cry, the main series.
I want the pizza shot.
I want the pizza shot too.
Give me the money
I want them to actively make the technology to have the pizza shot come out of my television and actually pizza shot me.
I want to taste that pepperoni.
Yeah, I want the pepperoni to be very prominent in my existence at that moment and throughout the rest of my life.
All right, thank you for that piece of humble knowledge. And I think with that,
of course,
we're good on the.
Yeah,
we're good.
I think we'll sign off here. This has been not the first episode.
This is
of the Backdash.
Pre-pilot.
This is the pre-pilot. This is the pre-gaming. This is the pre-game.
This is the pre-game pilot.
All we're doing is pre-gaming. You ever hear about the podcast pre-game?
The podcast pre-game. You pre-game with a podcast.
You pre-game it. Yeah, you pre-game the podcast.
And when you're all ready, you give the chats their Isekai.
It's true. When you're all ready and the chats have their Isekai and you have pre-gamed enough to finally record the podcast, only then will you have my permission to die. Thank you all for coming out and enjoy the rest of your day.
Deuces.